Right, hello, this is the GRcade Twitchcast Mini, as we're going to be talking about just Pokémon Legends Arceus, and for the first time in ages we have the Doom Spoon with us.
Hello, it's good to be back. It's been a while for sure, I can tell you that, but yeah, feels good. How are you anyway, Pedz?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm just chilling out, been watching Magpie Murders or something with the missus and a couple of other things. Been playing games. What have you been up to, man? And how are you doing?
Yeah, been okay. Just obviously started the new job a few months, back in October, and that's adjusting to the new way of working and the new lifestyle, I suppose. Is it's taken a lot of my time and effort, but things are falling into place nicely. So just to be honest, I'm still slowly learning what to do with the extra time that I've kind of got all of a sudden. So I'm kind of being able to reintroduce a bit of gaming, started reading again, listening to audiobooks and things like that. So just kind of on a slow journey to fill up the free time that I've got now.
Well, considering you're saying you got more time, where's the streams? Where's the streams?
It's something that I keep wanting to do, but I don't know, just haven't found the right the right time, the right thing. I kind of feel like I want to do a bit of a restructure, bit of a rebranding, as you will. I've decided to slowly phase out the Doom Spoon name. I don't think it'll ever fully disappear. It's too much linked to me now, but I don't know, I'm just kind of the name's been associated with me for best part of 13 years now, and I just maybe want something a little bit more don't know, just maybe a change. I think I'm just getting the itch for the change. So perhaps once I figured out exactly what I want to do as a rebrand, you'll see me on streams again.
That's fair enough, man. Maybe go with a Doom Spoon.
Just a subtle change.
Yeah, very subtle change from the to a. But I can understand wanting to change things up a bit. Hopefully you'll get around to that soon so you can get back to streaming and, doing things you enjoy doing. You still doing Metallic ads? Yes.
Been quite active with that. So that's another thing that keeps me busy. You know, we kind of have regular community events on every. We have a coffee morning every Saturday, and then we have a kind of a games night on every Wednesday, which is pretty cool. Which is at our local rugby club, Barry Rugby Club, where there's a pool table. We've got a dartboard there. Obviously, bars open, and it's just you've got two. For the people that are available after work in the evening, that's available. For the people that are available on the weekend, we've got the coffee morning. So that plus we've always got things in the works. So yeah, very much keeping busy with that as well.
Oh, that's really cool. It's really seemed to have expanded since you started. Then again, it's always been pretty busy, haven't it? Doing Metallic dad stuff.
Yes, yeah, no, definitely. We're up to the last time I checked, we were at 223 members, I think. So we've grown nicely, and just lots of things keeping me busy on that, which is cool. It's good. How's things with you anyway, Pedz? It's been a while since we've last spoken.
To be honest, nothing much have changed for me. Like, we've had coronavirus in November. One of my children had coronavirus again a couple of weeks back. He's the only one who's had it twice. and 4 of us had it the first time. The 2 eldest kids didn't get it, fortunately. It's very strange how like it happened. Like, we're all in the same house, and we couldn't exactly self-isolate in our rooms and leave the 2 eldest just wander around the house. So it's like, well, we're gonna have to carry on as normal pretty much, while the 2 eldest are gonna have to just be out of the way a bit, so that they didn't catch it. And fortunately they didn't. And then obviously when my child got it, like my 3rd child got it for the 2nd time, it's strange that none of us caught it. Like, I've had my 2 jabs, I haven't had a boost, because the first time I was supposed to have it, I had coronavirus. The second time I was supposed to have it, something happened, so I wasn't able to get it. Then another one came through the other day, but it was while one of my kids had coronavirus, and it was at a certain time where I was unable to go to the sports centre to get the jab at the same time as my missus would have been able to go up the schools to get the kids, whilst also one of us looking after the child that was home with the coronavirus. So that was a bit of a pain in the ass, but otherwise everything's been good, man.
Good. Well, I'm glad. No one, I suppose, is it none of you who have had it? Have you had any long-term kind of suffering from it, or have you all kind of got over it quite well now?
No, most of the rest. The missus has a problem with her taste and smell still. So, but other than that, everyone's been alright. Hopefully, she'll be able to taste and smell properly again soon.
Yes, yeah, I can't imagine how frustrating that must be.
Exactly. She said, like, she doesn't really enjoy food anymore. It's like everything she has just tastes bland. Like nothing. So no enjoyment there.
No, which is a shame. But I've seen there's like trends going around on TikTok of things you can do to try and bring back your taste and things after coronavirus. I have no idea if any of them work, but there does seems to be some experiments to try at least.
As long as there's nothing too, not dodgy like, but not too awkward or anything, it might be worth looking at. I don't really go on TikTok much. Like do the occasional thing where I'll go on the forum, GRcade.co.uk for those who don't know. I'll go on the forum and I'll look in the last game and rate in thread. See who's posted, and they'll go, someone's posted about a game. I'll record myself reading that and then put it on TikTok as a forum out review.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the words of another person, but I'll just do that and put it on TikTok. And I've done it a few times, and I've always linked it on the forum and quoted the person so they can see it. And most people have either found it pretty funny but everyone has been fine with it, like, so that's a good thing. They've obviously said, dude, stuff. Get down, I'd take it down, but I don't think it matters. They post on a public forum, and it's not them actually reading it out, it's me, so.
No. That's cool. Well, so it's a good idea. I mean, I don't really use TikTok a lot, but my wife does, and so I kind of by being around her, I end up kind of catching a lot of videos. And the one thing that I've seen regarding the taste, getting your taste back, is something to do with an orange. I don't know what they do. I think they they do something to an orange and they like eat that, and I don't know, it's meant to reset something. I don't know. I've seen it a few times on TikTok, but they're, I don't think it doesn't look particularly harmful, so it might be worth having a go.
I'll have to find out what it is and do it.
Yeah.
Well, I would do it. Get the missus to do it.
But I'm glad. Other than that, I'm glad that everyone has recovered well. And what have you? I know that you've been continuing to stream recently. So what have you been recently playing, Pedz, on your streams?
Well, I just stream on my channel and this channel, and I've been streaming on this channel. I've played through recently Halo Reach, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition, Halo 2 Anniversary Edition, Gears 1, 2, and 3, and some of us, the Ascent, we didn't end up finishing the Ascent because it glitched out and we just deleted it. I say we because every single one of these games has been a co-op game, and I played it with Cumberdanes.
Oh, awesome.
We're in the middle of going through Outriders right now, which is all right, a bit repetitive, but it's pretty fun. I've also started going through Red Dead Revolver, and on my channel, I've gone through lots of different stuff. Saints Row 2, Saints Row 3, currently start playing through Saints Row 4. Lots of Pokemon. I've done Pokemon Diamond, Shining Pearl, Pokemon Sword with the Eevee team that you gave me.
Yes.
Done that.
Did you finish that in the end?
We finished that. Even done the DLC. The toughest part of that game with the Eevee team specifically was Mustard. He was a beast. When I did it when I played through it on Shield, and I had my own team that I made myself and level tidy and stuff like that. Mustard wasn't too much of a problem, but with the Eevee team, his Urushifu was just decimating my team. My Eevees were just like, hey, Urshifu, don't knock me out. Oh shit, you've knocked me out. That's literally how it went. Nearly every single time, it was one shot. Oh, so, geez. There you go.
Well, at least there was a bit of a challenge there, I suppose.
Yeah, and obviously, one of the games I streamed is the one we're going to talk about today. But what about you? What have you been playing? What have you been playing? Have you been playing anything good?
I'm trying to think what I've played. I think my game time over the last few months had been quite limited in that. But last few months I've been kind of slowly picking things back up. So, I kind of only dedicate maybe an hour or two every day or every couple of days maybe to gaming. So I don't get through as much as I'd like, but certainly the things that the main games that I've played recently would be Shining Pearl, Pokemon Shining Pearl, which, well, I won't speak about it now too much because although we're talking about Arceus Legends mostly, it is worth mentioning that tomorrow is Pokemon Day, which we're expecting announcements for, and perhaps we could just briefly talk about the current state of Pokemon on the Switch, I suppose. So I'll go into that later. But yeah, so I've been playing that. I really got into Minecraft recently. I mean, I played it. I've played it a lot in the past. Anyway. That's kind of, it's always been one of those games I've gone back and forth to. I played a lot, like say 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that. Maybe a bit longer. Could be 8 years ago now. Played a lot of it back then. Yeah, recently really got back into that, and I've got my own realm, which is essentially like a server, I suppose.
Yeah.
Which people can access kind of anytime, and just kind of slowly working on little build projects, I suppose, on it, and trying to. What I want to do is I wouldn't mind recruiting a few people to kind of just jump on with, and it's very much a chilled exercise more than anything else. Just as a for a couple of hours, jump on. It's super relaxed, super chill. Have a chat, build some stuff, kind of things like that. So I found it very, very therapeutic, especially if I've had a bit of a busy day in work. Just a couple of hours of Minecraft's really cool. So I'm in the process of trying to see if anyone's interested in kind of being a part of the realm. I don't want to just randomly invite people, like people that people perhaps from Twitter or something like that, because you just don't know who you're going to get.
No,
before
exactly.
You know it, you turn up and they've griefed your server, which I'd be a bit apprehensive about. But yeah, so a lot of kind of played a bit of Minecraft quite recently, and the thing that I've played most recently, which I go back and forth with at the moment, is Pokemon Arceus Legends.
Pokemon, it's an interesting game. Yeah, Pokemon Arceus. I'd see this thing. Is it Arceus or Arceus? Nobody knows. Because like
no, it's a good point.
Like I think it was Ale. Aaron Ale. Currently, he's been on GRcade and before GRcade Games Radar, maybe even forums before that. But he streams now, Ale, and he was living in Japan for a while. And he says, like, the Japanese for it is actually Arceus.
Okay.
So it might actually, but I think outside of Japan, in the West, I think when Arceus was a thing, like the Pokemon, not the game, it was the Arceus, but I think because of the UK and other places that say arse instead of ass, I think they've gone with Arceus, but I still call it Arceus because I'm a child. But yeah, speaking of Pokemon Legends Arceus, that is what we're going to be talking about today. So we'll segue from what we were just talking about into there. How far have you got into the game so far, and how are you finding it so far?
I don't think I've got very far. In fact, I know for a fact I haven't got very far. I'm very, very, I'm very particular with the way I play Pokemon games. I'm notorious for taking my time. By taking my time, that doesn't mean not playing it much. It means overplaying each individual kind of area, I suppose. I was like that with Sword and Shield. I believe my first playthrough, I think, bear in mind there were some people saying they were beating the game in 15 hours or whatever it was. The first time I played Shield, I think it was about 40 hours it took me to go through, because I'm very, very meticulous. I explore every nook and cranny and really take my time to absorb and each individual area. So I'm kind of in the process of doing that. But as I said, because my game time is limited to maybe an hour or two a day, maybe an hour or two every other day.
Yeah.
I've got through. I'm about 8 hours in, something like that, and I'm still in the first area. I'm just about, or I'm very, very close to kind of taking on Cleavor, the first kind of major stepping point, I suppose. And as I said, I'm fully aware that I could have gone way past that by now. But
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, I'm very, very meticulous. I do like to take. I like taking my time. I really like exploring, and this game in particular, I found myself kind of purposely taking the long way round. Like, where you leave the Jubilife town, and you can choose which camp to go to. I very often will start at the very first camp and just walk and just run through, because you just don't know what you're going to come across. Essentially, there's always the chance of a random shiny popping up. You're like, oh, you go and grab that, and I don't know. It feels like the type of game that that's what I want to do. Is kind of purposely almost get lost and go off and do my own thing a little bit.
Well, I think you're gonna have fun with this then, because obviously as you progress through the game, you'll get ways of exploring better, I guess I want to say, without going into details. So you're going to be exploring a lot now, and then you're going to be able to explore even more. And I think certain Pokemon maybe don't appear until after you finish the game. So there's going to be a lot of exploring if you do. Like I finished the main game and the post game, and I haven't finished the like post game. That's when you fill the Pokedex, I still haven't got all, however many Pokemon there are. I'm not far off now, but it's just time consuming. And and the thing is I played it once off stream, and that was because I was trying to collect something. I don't know if you've been doing it. So I've been trying to collect things. And I was thinking on stream is a bit boring, me just going around collecting these things. So I thought I'll do it off stream. And then typically off stream, I bump into a shiny freaking Luxio, and then I was like, right, I'm not gonna not catch it because I'm not on stream, but I think I'll just stream it now when I get back to streaming, because the kids have been off school this week, no school, half term, so I haven't streamed in the days, whereas normally I would, and that's what I have been streaming in the days is Pokemon.
I see.
So it turns out that while it's okay to do stuff off stream, for me personally, it turns out I'll end up finding something really cool off stream, and then it's not part of my
and then
stuff.
Wish you'd streamed it.
Exactly, yeah. But I've really enjoyed the game. Like I said, I finished the game, like the main game and the post game, and I had a good time. I've done a review for it as well. After doing the post game, I did a review. And like I came away from the game enjoying it. Like I liked the approach to the game. Like I like obviously there could be more done with it. Like you could go around, like, say the field, the first area, Obsidian Fieldlands, I think it's called. And you could see all these Pokemon doing going about their business, just wandering about. And I like the fact you can do that and then like sneak up to them or battle them. Like you can tackle it in different ways. Like the thing I'm saying they could do a bit more there is like the Pokemon could interact in more ways, I guess, because you don't really see them doing anything other than like walking around, to my knowledge. Like it'd be cool if you saw like a Pidgey like try and fly down and take out a Caterpie or something, you know?
A little bit like what happens on Pokemon Snap.
I don't know about Pokemon new Pokemon Snap, but I can't really remember much about Pokemon Snap. But I remember in Pokemon Snap where you'd throw like certain fruit in the water, and then you'd get Slowpoke to go over to it. Then all of a sudden, Cloyster will grab onto his tail and it'll turn into a Slowbro. So like things like that were really cool. But I don't think anything like that happens in Arceus. That I'm aware of. I did see a clip on Twitter, thinking about it, of someone just about to fight a Riolu, or however it's pronounced, Riolu. Yeah, I think it's Riolu. I don't know. Riolu? And then as they were going near him, it evolved into a Lucario.
Oh, okay.
Which I've never seen that myself, but I saw a clip of that on Twitter. If I could find it, I would, but like it was a while ago. So there you go.
That's certainly interesting. I mean, I think, considering... you can see there's been a very obvious progression. If you look at the original wild area from Sword and Shield, and then look at what they did with the Armored Isle, or Isle of Armor, made it more diverse, a bit more, kind of open, things like that. And then you look at what they did with the Crown Tundra, again, bigger, more open, more detailed, things like that. You can see how Arceus has been a progressive step from that. That was very much a proof of concept, and then they've gone, right, let's run with this proof of concept and make a game just solely based around that, and let's see if it works. And I'm 100% confident, because what we can remember is the main team worked on this game. We're not talking about like a subsidiary team. This is the main team that works on the mainline Pokemon games, worked on Arceus Legends. And I can only assume the reason why is they've used this as a testing ground to see if the reception is good, because I'm not saying the next generation, but I reckon Gen 10 is when Pokemon goes full open world. And it will be, like Gen 9, which everyone's kind of expecting an announcement tomorrow. And as I said, it is Pokemon Day tomorrow, and we'll talk about that later. There's no guarantee that they'll announce Gen 9 this year. I don't think they will, to be honest. I think they'll leave it another year, personally, but that's just me. But we'll see an evolution, ironically, again of this concept. They'll take what they've already done with Arceus and evolve that again for Gen 9. And I think by Gen 10, which is obviously, we're talking another, could be 5-6 years away now. I reckon that by Gen 10 we'll have a full open world Pokemon game, but it won't just be like our Arceus Legends. It'll be like an amalgamation of traditional routes that we're so used to, but in a open world way. I'm sure that there's a way of doing it, and I'm sure that they'll work on something like that.
Yeah, they could do. They could easily enough have you like funnel down certain routes into big areas, instead of you going about camps, like selecting.
Yeah.
UBL, it'll be technically competent, you mean? Fair enough. But like they could have, if like, so you've got your big area and then a couple of routes in another big area. That way they could do it, and then maybe you could learn to fly later in the game. You could fly over those areas, so it's just one big open world again.
Yeah.
I'm happy enough with this way though. Like the semi-open world they've gone for. That's actually fine by me.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm a massive. I'm not a massive fan of open world games. It's like Breath of the Wild is regularly cited as being like amazing, and people put in hundreds of hours. I put in 50 hours, and that was enough. And for me, like, so like a massive open world Pokemon game, I'd probably be the same. I don't know.
Yeah. I certainly understand that, and perhaps what they might look to do instead is have, say, they use the towns as the hub, essentially, each hub, but then in between those, instead of having those traditional routes, they just have instead of routes, they have these big open areas like we're getting in Arceus Legends. Because if you think about it, the first area, which is, like I say, the Obsidian Fieldlands, like if you include the bridge to go over the water, that whole area is massive. It's a really big area. So if you had something of that size in between every single town, and your town is your hub area, and so you get that semi-open world for every single route essentially, but every route is slightly different and different Pokemon, and it'd be perfectly easy enough for them to put NPCs in so you could battle them still. Do you know what I mean? It'd be very, very easy to do that. I think that could be quite good. I think that could be quite exciting for the future of Pokemon. Everything they're doing, I said this from pretty much day one when the wild area was like first announced, essentially, is this is all proof of concept. Like, you don't, and this is, I've kind of had this conversation before, because too many people are quick to react to things. A lot of people really, when the wild area was first a thing and people started slating it, and people complaining about, oh, why don't we just go full open world and that. People got to remember, you don't take the world's biggest franchise, which is Pokemon is officially the world's biggest franchise. It's the franchise that's worth more money than any other entertainment thing on earth. It's billions and billions. You don't take that and screw with it like willy-nilly. You don't do that. You are it's a property that you are very protective over, and so therefore you slowly introduce new things. If that thing is making you billions of dollars, you do not go and start chopping and changing things. It's just, nobody would do that. So the wild area, as I said, that was the original proof of concept. And look at the evolution we had over the DLCs. Look what we got with Arceus from that point onwards. You can see there's an obvious progression, and this is them slowly introducing us to what is essentially going to be the future.
Yeah, I think they have been a bit slow on progression in some ways. I get why. I get why. Because they were portable. Yeah, I think they could have brought it to consoles sooner and maybe done a bit more earlier, because they stuck to the handhelds. Obviously, it was more limited in it had to be more limited in scope. But obviously, Pokemon is a game that doesn't progress a lot. it hasn't progressed a lot in like 8 generations. It's only now that it seems to be expanding. Like, obviously they introduce new ideas each time, but it's not it's awkward because obviously, like you're saying, with a franchise, if you change too much, people might be put off by it. But it feels like it's kind of stagnant. But I think this game specifically, then, like, I get what you're saying with the wild area, and I feel the same way. Wild area, then the Isle of Arm and the Crown Tundra feel exactly the same way. More proof of concept, more slowly building up to an open world or semi-open world game. I think this game is where they've really kind of diversified from the norm. Like, obviously there's like no NPCs pretty much in Arceus and things, and I think like I'm not sure how they would introduce them. Would they be walking around, or would they just be standing there and you stare at them? And like on a like a grid, it works better than it would in an open world, I guess. I guess it'd just be people walking around, and I don't know. But I think the way that you like can tackle Pokemon differently, like before it was literally you walk into a Pokemon, you fight it, and you throw a Pokeball at it, or you throw a Pokeball and you might catch it. With this, is like you sneak up to it. The Pokemon might see you and run away. The Pokemon might see you and attack you. And I think that is actually like a big step forward. Bigger than the open world is the way you can actually do. There's variety in even the not so much the traversal. There is variety in traversal, but that's been like that for a while now. But in the approach to things, the interaction and the approach of things is the variety. There is what's setting itself apart, and I think if they lean on that, and even if they keep in the same open world structure they've got now, but lean into the more interactive and variable stuff they've got going, as long as they polish the game up a bit, and they've got the fucking money to do it, then I think that they're gonna make even better Pokemon games, like, you know?
No, I'd agree with that totally. I think, as you say, the way, you know, if you ever watch if you've ever watched the anime, that's essentially how people catch Pokemon. Is they either battle them, they can sneak up on them. Like you never see Ash every single Pokemon. He's like, right, got to battle that. I'm gonna like. You know, even in the anime, there are different ways that people catch Pokemon, and that is something that I think if if Gen 9 doesn't include that that catching mechanic, then I think it would feel like a real step backwards. So I'm really hoping, like, if I could forgive if they decide, we're not sure about doing the open world thing. I could forgive that if they keep the interactions, you know, that like you said, being able to get in the grass, sneak up to a Pokemon, and like do things like throw a berry to distract it, and so you can like hit him from the back with a Pokeball, or do like there's a lot of scope here, and they've proved that they can do it, so there's no excuse now. So the question is, are they brave enough to introduce that into a mainline Pokemon game? Or more specifically, a new generation?
I think they would. I think the success of Arceus, like, it has done really well. Like, I think it's one of the highest in the UK. I'm not sure about worldwide, but like in the UK, for example, it's like one of the highest grossing Pokemon games that have come out in this first week or something. It's done generally really well. I think it's one that is being reviewed better than most Pokemon games have recently. I think but the problem is money talks, doesn't it? So like a lot of people are put off by the look of the game initially.
I think it looks great.
I think this is the thing. I think it looks nice in its art style, but there's so many technical issues with the game. You just It's like you'll be running around and you'll see fucking trees popping in. You'll see, like, I can understand with Sword and Shield. My opinion was, who cares if trees look a bit shitty in the sense of the textures are not great. I don't matter. When you're running around and all of a sudden these trees are popping in, you're like, it's kind of pulling you out of the game. But oh, look, a mountain just appeared out of nowhere. It's like those technical limitations need to be overcome. Like Breath of the Wild is mentioned a lot, and like I've said myself that it has issues of its own. For me personally, it had certain issues where it would like freeze every so often, but it's still a technically better game than Arceus is, and it was a launch title for the Switch.
Yeah, and although I totally understand why people are crying out for a Switch Pro and more power and things like that, I personally think they're not going to do that now. I think they're going to
be a Switch 2,
yeah, it'll be a Switch 2. But like, funny enough, I bought an OLED Switch about a week or two ago, so I've been using that, so that's been pretty cool. But yeah, I think there's too much money in the Switch at the moment. Why are they going to go and try and make it more powerful? They'll just keep selling this, and the next more powerful Switch will be a Switch 2, or whatever they're going to call it. But I do, so I totally understand why people cry out for a more powerful Switch. I get that. But like games like Breath of the Wild prove that the console can do it. It's not necessarily the hardware. To an extent, obviously it's the hardware holding it back, but it does also come down to the quality and the talent of your programmers. And to be fair, although like Breath of the Wild has some issues, but let's be fair, overall, considering that is running on the Switch, it's
and
really quite stunning, and the Wii U, it's really quite a stunning game. And they've done very, very well to make it very immersive and things like that. And
that's the thing. It
just shows it can be done.
Exactly. I know. I completely agree. But one thing Nintendo had with Breath of the Wild is they got help from, I believe, the people who make the Xenoblade Chronicle games. And if you've seen the Xenoblade Chronicle games, open worlds, they're fucking stunning. Like they're not fully open world, at least not that I'm aware of. They are more like, I guess, they're kind of more like Arceus, I guess, in the sense of the things are blocked off in a sense, gated then, but you can see, like, it's like, oh yeah, you stand up here and you can see like the thing over there, and at some point you will be able to go there. So I think like maybe what Game Freak could have done, or Nintendo is like, oh look, maybe get help from a small team of these people. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think what they realistically need to do is employ more people.
Yes,
if they can, is employ more people to help out with the development of the game, because the games, like I have no like issue with the art direction. I think the art direction is nice. I just reckon on a technical problem, things go a bit bad. Lord knows they can afford to, says Ubellion. Coming in says, I think the game looks nice on foot, but when you start riding and stuff, it suffers. So, because when you go around fast, when you go around faster and stuff, there's a lot more pop in.
I understand that. I mean, I think the other thing to consider as well is just the fact that I suppose it depends on how certain things affect people. So, for instance, although that I'm fully aware of the technical limitations of the game, not once have I actively noticed it and it's pulled me out of the experience. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. I don't become very aware of it when I'm playing. Once I'm immersed into a game, I don't really get pulled out of it by things like that. I just seem to kind of, maybe I just put the blinkers on and kind of, it's almost like selective sight. I choose subconsciously choose to ignore it. But like, even if there's a game that I'm aware that has its technical problems, I just don't seem to actively notice. I'm too busy being kind of sucked in. Does that make sense? So for
that
me
makes sense to me.
The technical limitations really don't bother me because the game, the experience is very pleasant. And unless I go looking for them, I don't really notice those technical. I'm kind of too busy just focusing on what I'm doing, I suppose. But I can certainly understand not everyone is like that, and people will be affected by certain issues, for instance.
Yeah, I've played the game, like I've been streaming playing it, and I've been like, oh my, like I've said to people like, why the hell is this popping in, like, and because it's like, it's not like I'm like purposely looking for things to pick at, because I really enjoyed the game. I give it a very positive review when I did give it a review. I did mention the technical limitations, but that was the only negative I had, pretty much. Like there are other things that I didn't mention, Rue, like lack of NPCs is not so much an issue, but a little bit for something of me I would have liked more. But I can understand in the term of the game where it's set, you're now going to this place. It's understandable that not everyone is running around with a fucking Pokemon, because that's the whole point of it. It's like, Pokemon are dangerous, stay away from Pokemon. That's how it is back then. Compared to now, it's like, oh, Pokemon are lovely, cuddle up to a Pokemon. You know what I mean? But
no, exactly.
But like, I'd be playing it and I'd be like, what the hell is going on with you? Like, but that is something. I think I've got worse with that since the more I've played on my PC. Even like frame rates and stuff bother me more now than they used to. When something's a bit like I was playing a different game to talk off topic a little bit. I was playing Kena Bridge of Spirits. Lovely game, plays lovely, but I turned on I had it on performance mode, so it ran at 60 frames per second, but didn't have the highest resolution on the PlayStation 5. I put it on the other mode, and the resolution was better and stuff, and you could see it looked a bit nicer. But for me, it felt like it was juddery. And it was locked at 30 frames per second, but for some reason it felt juddery after playing it at 60 frames per second for so long. And that's how it was for me. So I just put it back to performance and carried on playing the game. So I think obviously things like that are going to affect people differently. Some people are going to be more perceptive of it than others. Not much to say other than, if you don't really notice it, then that's a good thing, because you can just crack on and enjoy. But if you do, it can become a distraction.
Yes, yeah. No, definitely. It's down to user preference, isn't it, I suppose? And I think the biggest thing I've noticed, and again, I suppose it's just too obvious to not notice, is the way the lighting reacts to water in that game. It kind of doesn't. it just kind of it's either on or off, essentially. There's no dynamic lighting and that, and it's it's really quite blaringly obvious in that. But it doesn't change the experience for me. It doesn't affect anything for me personally. I kind of just see it and kind of go, oh, that's funny, and then just kind of move on, and I'll pretty much forget about it almost immediately. So perhaps I'm lucky in that sense. But I can certainly understand how if you're kind of getting sucked into an experience and something like that happens, I can certainly see how some people would be put off by that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, what you're saying, man. I think that's the biggest disappointment of the game for me is technical aspect, but overall the game is a good game. Like I said, the variety alone, compared to previous Pokemon games, is a big step up. So can't criticize them for that. At least they trying something different in there instead of just going, it was the same game again. I know that is very, very like on a very basic level, it's the same game again. There are additions to each game, but on a basic level, it's the same game again.
Yeah. It shows that they are willing to kind of diversify and even if it's a little bit late, at least they are doing it, I suppose. And I'm looking forward to the future. I think it's a very positive step, and I hope more is done with it, and I'm sure more will be done with it.
Yeah, I can't see them going this far and then going, nah, we're just going back to roots. Roots, and you can only catch Pokemon in battles, nothing else.
Yeah, no, I can't see that changing. Okay, so I think we've kind of covered Arceus quite a lot, and although that was the majority of the chat that we were going to have, just while kind of we're still talking about the games and that, how did you find Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond 3DS?
Well, I finished Shining Pearl. I haven't done any of the post game of that because I did it just before. I finished it not long before Arceus came out, and I was like, right, I'm gonna have a couple of days break before I play my next Pokemon game, because I was playing Shining Pearl and Sword at the same time at one point. So I was like, I need a little break, like, which is why another reason why I think Arceus stands up is I just finished 2 Pokemon games and went into that one and carried on playing it, But I enjoyed Diamond. I like the look of the game. I know a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people have issues with the lack of platinum story stuff for the post game. But other than that, I thought the game was fine. One thing I didn't really like about it was the lack of fire-type Pokemon.
Yeah, that's an inherent problem with Gen 4 in general. Fire Pokemon are quite hard to come by.
I played through the game, and the only fire-type Pokemon I had was a Houndoom, which I got in the underground caves. I didn't catch a wild fire-type Pokemon at all.
No.
Other than that. If I didn't, realistically, I should have went with Chimchar just to have a fire type. But I didn't. I went with someone else. Can't remember who. Might have been Piplup. Piplup.
I was going to say Piplup or Turtwig, yeah.
I went with Piplup, yeah.
Oh, good choice.
I like to change it up every now and again. And also when I played through Pearl originally, I think it was Pearl I had. Or Diamond, whichever one I had first, I went with Chimchar. So I thought, well, it's a remake. I'll play it differently to how I played it before. Otherwise, I may as well just play the original game. Play it exactly the same. And that's what I try and do, is mix it up a bit so that it's not the same experience every time,
That's cool. That's good. That's good.
What about you? How did you find Shining Pearl or Brilliant Diamond, whichever one you had, if you had them?
I bought the double pack, so I got the both of them. But I've been playing through Shining Pearl, and I still haven't completed the game yet. Actually, I still haven't. I'm stuck on Cynthia. She's beaten me a few times now.
She beat me once.
Yeah, she's beaten me quite a few times, so I need to do a bit of grinding. I'm glad. I like the art style. I think it's lovely. I think it looks great.
It kind of, for me, it goes with the original stylings of the game anyway. So I'm fine with that. And it's a remake. They kind of kept it to what it was like. Fine.
Yeah, that chibi art style works absolutely fine for me. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's a call back to how the games used to look. It's just in 3D, and that's absolutely fine by me as well. I've enjoyed it, but put it this way, I didn't realise how much I quite like the modern creature comforts of things like Sword and Shield, for instance. And it's made me realise, and I could be totally off the mark, but I'm absolutely 100% behind this. I've realised that people always have complained, oh, Pokemon games are getting easier and they're getting this and they're getting that. That's a usual complaint that we hear about Pokemon games. Oh, they're too easy these days. Back in the day, they were a lot harder, which I think is quite fair, because genuinely, I can't remember the last time I got stuck on a Pokemon game for this long, if you know what I mean, like to the point where I'm like having to basically reevaluate how I tackle that situation and have to think about a serious amount of grinding and things like that. So, and because these are faithful remakes, it is much more old school in that sense. But I've kind of, my hypothesis, I suppose you would say, is I don't think I agree. I think Pokemon games have gotten easier. I think that's they've got the technology to add the creature comforts in, the things like the wild area, being able to do dens and get loads of XP candies and make it easy to level your Pokemon and the XP shares. And yes, I think there's an element that makes it more accessible for kids modern days, and a lot of people will turn around and say, oh, but we were kids when we played the original games and it was much harder. And yes, that's true. But I'm genuinely I believe this quite a lot now. I truly believe that the big wigs, the decision makers of Pokemon, are also very, very aware that the original fan base, aka me and you, I suppose, I was 8 or 9 when Pokemon was really a big thing, so I was prime. I was the prime age for it. Yeah. They are now very aware that those original fans, who are still fans now, who still want to be able to play these games, are now, in their 30s or approaching 30, mid 30s, well, even up to 40s. At this point, we've all got families, we've all got jobs, we've all got, a lot of us have got rent and mortgages and things. Like, we're not in a position to be able to invest as much time as we could when we were kids, where we could, we can't get past that thing. Oh, that's fine. I'm going to spend the next X amount of 5-6 hours grinding so I can get there. That was, as a kid, you're like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. We don't have that luxury anymore. I genuinely think they've also made these things a little bit easier, aka leveling your team, making it very accessible to change things, the nature mints, all that, the XP share that's constantly on, just the general, I truly believe they've done that knowing that they want to make it accessible for their original audience, because their original audience hasn't physically got the time to be able to play those games like we used to. We have, we're all in our 30s and 40 now, I suppose, for a lot of people, and we all have jobs and kids and families and rent, mortgage, the lot, and so therefore I think they've thought about that, and they thought, well, let's make it more accessible for them as well. I truly believe that must have at least crossed their mind.
No, I can see that. Well, I can see that being the case.
How you keep the original fan base happy,
I think things like XP being constantly on, things like that, I think should be a choice where you can turn it on or off. The option is there for people who don't have the time then, and it's there to turn it off if you just don't want to use it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd probably have it on because I'm lazy. It's easier than grinding. But I think what they've done is while they've added accessibility for those kind of things, they've kind of made it so there's less options for you to choose how you want to do that. You better said more accessible, less involved to a degree. And then coming and said, bloody young'uns, I was 16 when Red and Blue launched here.
Yeah, I think I was about 9. I think when Red and Blue launched.
When was it? 96?
Well, it depends. Over here, it was
98,
98 or 99 when it launched in the UK.
So yeah, it was like 14 or 15.
Yeah, so and more accessible, less involved to a degree, and that's true. But again, I do, there's a lot of factors behind that. But I do also think that they've taken into consideration that they have a very large fan base of people who are, like I said, between the ages of 30 and 45, say, something like that, and making it more accessible or less involved, that is something that I have realized that I appreciate. and I've really noticed that since playing Shining Pearl. Like, I'm at a stage with Shining Pearl, I haven't touched it for a little while because I know I've got to do a bit of grinding, and I don't, for the time I've got playing like gaming, I don't like the first thing on my mind isn't right. I spend the next 2 hours grinding killing the same Pokemon over and over again to grind the levels. Like, it's the last thing I really want to do. I'd rather do something a bit more productive. Hence why I play Minecraft and build stuff, or go on Arceus Legends and get completely lost on a tangent while I go and hunt random things and explore the world. Like, just running around in circles, killing the same thing over and over again is not the thing I want to do.
Well, I'm luckily
for a couple of hours to chill out,
I didn't need to grind in Shining Pearl. Like, I lost the Cynthia once, I think. And then I just bought loads of fucking potions and revives just in case I need them, and then beat her on the second go.
But I've lost to her about 4 or 5 times now. And my team are quite highly leveled,
I can't remember what my levels were, to be honest with you.
Can't get past her at the moment.
But recently, Mustard has been the toughest battle I've had on Sword when I used the EV team. I think my levels were lower than Mustard's levels of Pokemon, so I might have factored into it, or they were around the same. When I went against him the time before on Shield, I think mine were like a couple of levels higher, so I didn't have to worry about it. I think the toughest battle I've had all together was probably either Mustard, because with the EV team, not with my other team, or Miltank in Silver.
Oh god, yeah, that thing wiped me out a few times back in the day.
I'll be honest as well, Arceus seems to be tougher as well in the sense of when you battle a Pokemon. I was saying to people when I was streaming, I was like 5 levels plus above some Pokemon, even or higher, and I'd be fighting them and they'd fucking one-shot my team, and I'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
why is this Pokemon so strong?
That as well. Like, there's times when like 10 levels above a Pokemon and I hit it with a strong style move and it doesn't knock it out in one go, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, so I agree. I think the Pokemon are definitely tougher in Arceus Legends. I think definitely. Was a Cumber here says, let's have a look. Love Sword and Shield. I haven't really played Pokemon games since Gen 1. Grinding games while working from home, and Mustard was the only tough fight in Sword for you. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you know what, and this is like I've enjoyed going back and playing through like Shining Pearl again, and I do intend obviously on beating Cynthia and do the post game, but because of the faithfulness of its remake, it's not a game that I'll think, oh right, when's my next playthrough? Like, how am I going to play through this next? Like, because it does require time that I would rather invest in other games, I suppose. Like, for instance, like at any time I could pick up and go and play Sword and Shield again and do it in a different style. Like, I tend to like doing mono-type playthroughs. So like the last time I did, I played Sword, because I've got Sword and Shield. Ghost type. I did a full Ghost type team, and that was just like, it wasn't particularly difficult. I don't think I come. Oh no, I did. I come unstuck a couple of times because Team Yell used Dark types, and the one thing the Ghost types are weak to are Dark types, and you can't hit them with Ghost moves either, or Psychic moves. So there was a couple of times where I nearly come a little unstuck, so that was a little scary. But it's, for me, it's like it adds the it's not much of a challenge, but what I find is I enjoy the fact that it switches my brain on a bit more. like I enjoy the planning. So like literally for that ghost team playing on sword, the first thing I was doing, going on Cerebi, checking all the ghost types that I could catch on sword, looking at where I could catch them, find out what what areas of the wild area they spawn in, what levels they are, when I could catch them. Like I enjoy the research part and thinking, right, oh, that's going to be cool, and oh, there's a ghost type there, and like adding to my team and kind of doing the research, and like it just helped me. It just engaged my brain a bit more. So I don't care if it's more or less challenging. I enjoyed the fact that it engaged my brain more, and it just made me more aware of how I play through a game, and genuinely I really enjoyed it. I thought, oh, this is really cool, because I basically ran I was quite ruthless with my team, aka I think I had a team of 6. I had a team of 12 or 13 Pokemon towards the end of the game, all evenly leveled. I kept all my team essentially evenly leveled, because I'd go in and grind the wild area dens for the XP candies to make sure my team was up to date. And I would literally, if a Pokemon let me down, I would drop it, I'd bench it, and give something else a chance. And I was quite ruthless in that sense. But as a result, like, I let fate essentially do the work for me. And by the time I finished that whole playthrough, I had like an overwhelming MVP that I never thought I'd ever use, never mind consider it to be a key part of my team. Do you know what I mean? And it was just really great. It was just really good. I felt really like engaged and really switched on. So genuinely, obviously I'm a little bit busy with Arceus Legends or Arceus Legends at the moment, but I fully intend on doing another playthrough of Sword or Shield with a different team.
That's cool. What team are you going to go do?
I don't know.
Fighting
I'll
types.
randomize it. Yeah, could do fighting
types. That way, Team Yell will be easy to kick their ass. Like, I'll teach them.
I pretty much do it as a bit of a randomizer. I just kind of close my eyes and just poke, and whichever one lands on, I'll go, right, that's the type I'm going to do.
Fair enough.
The other monotype playthrough I've done, I did an all bug playthrough of Let's Go Eevee.
All right.
Which
sounds
again,
interesting.
that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Genuinely, there was a couple of times where a little bit on the challenging side. It wasn't overly difficult, but again, it was. I didn't care if it was much of a challenge. It was the fact that I really had to engage my brain, and especially during the Elite Four, I was constantly thinking about, like, I had to, when I say build the team, I didn't care about the nature of that, but I was really focusing on the team that I had, and then before the Elite Four, on the lead up to it, I was like making sure I had enough moves to deal with each one, and I really had to think tactically about things, and as a result, I really enjoyed that as well. So again, I could pick up Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee and do a mono-type playthrough of that and really enjoy it again.
Yeah, it sounds like an interesting thing to do, man. I've never done a mono run or mono-type run, but I might. You never know. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed my Eevee run. I say Eevee run because it's easier, but it was Gen 1 and Gen 2 Eevee and evolutions, because it was Eevee, Jolteon, Flareon, Vaporeon, Espeon, and Umbreon. So it was Gen 1 and 2. Obviously, Leafeon, Glaceon, and Sylveon didn't get used because I didn't have them. It's funny though, because when I played through Sword, I think with the Eevee team, I think I had a total of like 40 Pokemon catch, and that was after doing the DLCs as well. Just caught 40 Pokemon, and that's about it. So there you go. But yeah, I like the idea of playing through them in different ways. But I just, like I said, apart from the Eevee, I've just played the games normally. And I usually just play through them the once. So, not always. I did play through Fire Red and Leaf Green and obviously I've played through Sword and Shield, but usually I just play through one. But then again, obviously there was the like Silver and Crystal, so a couple of them I've gone through twice, but you know.
Yeah. Well, and again, you know, for multiple playthroughs, like, because of the creature comforts that are added in the more modern games, I feel like I can go ahead and do a second run through or a third run through of a game rather than have it, you know, because I know the grind isn't so much of a problem anymore and things are a little bit more simpler. You know, things like don't have to go to a Pokemon Center every time you need something from your, like, to change your party. You can do it on the fly and things like that. Like all that type of stuff. It just makes it so much easier, and therefore it's more, for me, it's more accessible to be able to go ahead and do multiple playthroughs, which is something that I enjoy doing, because I like, you know, the games that I do a single playthrough of, they're great and I enjoy it, but then I think to myself, oh, I'd love to play that again, but in a different way. But I just don't have the heart to do it, because I'm like, I can't invest X amount of time in that, because I just know it'll take too long. Whereas Sword or Shield or Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, for instance, either one of those games, because the progression is very accessible, I'm like, yeah, screw it, let's do it. And I know I could do it, and I would be able to get through it at a decent rate, but still enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I am tempted to have a look at these monotype runs, but at the same time, too many games.
Yeah, you're quite busy, to be fair. And you know, I even think it'd be very. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it'd be possible to do some form of monotype run with Arceus Legends as well. Quite like to do with that. Although I need to really play through the game more to make that decision as if it was possible. But if it is, I'm definitely going to look at doing it.
See why it wouldn't be possible, but trying to think of all the Pokemon in the game, I haven't even seen all the Pokemon in the game, so there's definitely some spots in my Pokedex that's question marks.
yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I think there's a lot of promise there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so perhaps there's a good opportunity to mention that tomorrow is Pokemon Day.
Yep. It is indeed.
25th of February. It is Pokemon Day, and as a result, we've had a kind of a week's build up of little announcements here and there. Nothing particularly major. I know with Sword and Shield, there's the Max Raid Den challenge where you can get G-Max, Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise in the dens.
Yeah.
The extra challenge is because normally a 5-star raid, the Pokemon is level 60. So if you've got a team of 4 level 100s, that shouldn't be a problem. These 3 Pokemon will all be level 80, so it should add more of a challenge, which could make things interesting. Yeah, thought it was a fun little fun little thing.
Yeah, I did. I knew they were coming. I saw it on Pokemon Home, but I didn't realize. I didn't read it. It's cool. Gigantamax versions of the original starters. But I didn't realize anything else. You better said set your expectations to maximum. Gen 9, Let's Go Dust Noir, and Detective Pikachu 2.
Well, genuinely, 2 of those 3 are genuine, like, things that people think are going to be announced, and that's obviously the Gen 9 and Detective Pikachu 2. Like, there's a lot of people believing that we're going to get an announcement like that tomorrow, and I'm not super convinced.
No. I'm hoping that there's something, if anything gets announced for a Pokemon game, it'll be like, oh yeah, we're going to be doing some DLC for Arceus or something like that. Yeah. I don't want to, like, oh, there's going to be a new generation of Pokemon by November. It'll be like, seriously, you've had like 4 games in like 2 years. Yeah. I don't think it's been that short, like, but you know what I'm saying, it's a bit too much.
Yeah, no, I don't think we don't need another Pokemon game right now. I'm with you on that in terms of the announcements. I think Detective Pikachu 2 is a genuine shout. I think there's a lot of people who are very, very
game or film.
They're going to talk about that. What's that? Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played the game, so I don't know what. Like, if it ends the same way as the film, then I don't know how they would do Detective Pikachu 2.
No. But there's
Ryan Reynolds as a 2. That's where it'll be.
So that's a genuine, I think, shout that we may see something. Like I said, we don't need Gen 9. We've had a Diamond and Pearl remake in November, Arceus Legends now. Like, we don't need Gen 9. It'd be too saturated. And the longer they leave it, the more time they have to work on it, which is all good for me.
Yeah.
I think they're going to announce some form of DLC, and I think it'll be like in the same way that Sword and Shield was. They'll have like a 2-part pack thing where the first one will be released in, say, April, May time, and then the next one will be released like November time.
You bet it's more saturated than the Orange Islands.
Very, very true. So yeah, what I'm just trying to think, what type of DLC do you think they could add to this game? Obviously, I haven't played through it all at the moment, so it'd be difficult for me to say. But is there anything that like sticks out that you think, oh yeah, that'd be really good for DLC?
To be honest, I wouldn't know. Like, unless they add like a new island or something, with newer like more Hisuian forms to catch. I genuinely wouldn't know, because like the whole point is you're trying to get Arceus, and that's the main point of the game, because it starts to say, come back to me when you find all the Pokemon, and like that's the highest form of being. So unless Arceus has a dad called, I don't know, Peneus, then I don't know where it would go from there, because it's not like, oh look, Mewtwo might show up, because Mewtwo was created in red, like and other legendary Pokemon could show up though. I guess they could be like, oh, here comes Groudon and Kyogre, even though, like, I guess they could just add some, basically just add a new island with some more Hisuian forms. Maybe some kind of side story about something. I don't know what. Something.
I think there's plenty of scope though. But yeah, no, I definitely think if they do DLC, it'll be like a 2-part situation like we had with Sword and Shield, and it'll be like an April, May time for the first lot, and it'll be like November, October time for the second lot. So something like that. I'm trying to think what other announcements that like genuinely could be announced.
More Pokemon anime episodes are coming, maybe.
Yeah, probably something like that, and maybe something to do with the card game and things like that. Pokemon Unite, I'm sure there'll be something to do with that. But yeah, I think in terms of the announcements, I don't want to see a Gen 9 this year. I want them to leave it another year. I'd be all up for Arceus Legends DLC, because I think the game has got plenty that can be expanded on. So I'd be all up for that. And I'm just generally looking forward to what is announced. I'm kind of not expecting loads, but at the same time, anything they give us that is remotely interesting, I'll be happy with.
Yeah. 1 second. Cumberdane said Sword and Shield's meant to have 3 DLC packs, but apparently the third one was kindly cancelled. They never announced 3, did they? So it must have been cancelled before it was even announced.
That's interesting, though. I wonder what the third one was meant to be.
It would have been whales, and everything would have been a sheep. They finally would have introduced whales into the UK of Pokemon, because it's Norway right now. Basically, it's England. England, Isle of Man, and Scotland. Which Scotland came in the DLC.
So did Arla Man.
Yeah. Bastards. But yeah, to be honest, I haven't really got any expectations for Pokemon Day announcements other than I'm hoping for some cool DLC for Arceus. Other than that, I wouldn't know what else to want. Like a new Pokemon game seems a bit too much right now. But yeah, as long as Arceus gets some DLC, it probably won't be a lot though. It'll probably just show off a couple of things and not much. It's quite long though, only like 20 minutes.
Something like that.
But then again, it could be a lot of talking and stuff. Like even if it shows DLC for Arceus, it could spend 10 minutes on just that one thing.
Yeah, there is that as well to take into consideration.
So there you go.
Be interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to it. I gotta say, I always look forward to it though, but I try not to expect too much.
They'll finally release Pokemon Sleep.
Yes, I very I fully expected to see an announcement for that.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't even know if that still exists, does it?
I believe it does.
Pokemon Trozy port for Switch. I've forgotten what that is. You said it was called something else over here, Cumberdines. I forget. My memory's awful. But Cumberdine said in chat, not me.
No, it's all good.
Hey you, Pikachu for Switch Online. Free with the expansion pack. Otherwise you have to pay 25 quid. There you go. Is there anything that you really want to see tomorrow?
No, I just I always look forward to these announcements, but I try not to put my goals too high essentially. So I'm just looking forward to what they announce. I say I'd like to see DLC definitely for Arceus Legends. But yeah, other than that, no, not really. I'll be happy with most things, whatever they announce.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. It's fair enough. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Or is that it? I've got nothing to say on anything other than
no.
One other thing I'd like to add though about Arceus, actually, is I like the way the Pokédex works. It's not just you catch Pokemon, you get all the info. You actually have to do. I know it's like it's simple things like catch several of the same Pokemon or use certain moves, but it's a little bit extra there to get information. Like you actually are studying the Pokemon and just instead of going, "Got you right now, I know everything about you."
It is cool. I do like the fact that they have all that information.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, if there's nothing else, I think we'll end here. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes and it's gone 11. So, yeah. Quite a late one.
I'll work in the morning.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll end here then.
Awesome.
We will look at if there's anyone online to raid. There is. But yeah, that's going to be the end for us, guys. So, yeah, I would like to say thank you for everyone who's tuned in. And thank you for Doom for popping up to have fun.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a long time, and I've really enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll be around again sooner than the last time. But certainly it's been fun, and I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
Anyway, just going to the ending screen. Yeah, thank you for popping in, man. Like I said, it's a pleasure having you. Hopefully we'll have you back again soon. As we do them quite regularly. Not as regularly as I would like, but regularly enough. Just keep your eye out on PMs, man, on the forum, and I do PM it all the time saying about when they like, so there you go. Anyway, and with that, we're going to end. Yeah. Take care, and thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Before I go, actually, I need to say, don't forget to check out grcade.co.uk. GRcade video on YouTube, at GRcade on Twitter, and GRcade on Facebook. And until next time, something funny. Ha ha ha. Bye.